I married him because he was dying. 2 years later, I'm the one who can't survive this. I found the apartment listings on my laptop at 2 a.m. while my husband slept upstairs. My hands were shaking as I scrolled through one-bedroom places I could actually afford. I hadn't lived alone in 2 years, ever since Marcus first told me he had stage 3 lymphoma with a year prognosis. We'd been dating 18 months when the diagnosis hit, and we got engaged right there and then in his hospital room. Because what else do you do when someone you love is dying? 5 months later, we had sold everything we owned for one last trip to Europe. 3 weeks into the trip, we got the call that changed everything. The experimental treatment worked. Cancer gone. Marcus was going to live, and I haven't stopped working since. We're $89,000 in debt, so I have to work 53 hours a week between my office manager job and weekend catering gigs. All the while, Marcus spends his days doing yoga, meditation, and long walks. He's been medically cleared to work for 4 months, but keeps saying he's not ready. Yesterday, I came home with my feet literally bleeding from a 12-hour catering shift to find he'd signed us up for couples therapy without asking me. $200 per session. I exploded and told him I can't even buy groceries without checking my account twice. He looked hurt and said, "I thought you'd be happy I'm taking initiative for our marriage." During our first therapy session, our therapist asked basic questions that made everything worse. When she asked Marcus when he last made dinner, he shifted in his chair and said he was still recovering his strength. She gave us homework where Marcus had to handle one household responsibility. He chose our car insurance renewal and called me 6 times at work with questions he could easily answer himself. When I suggested he research it alone, his voice cracked and he said he was having chest pains. I had to leave work early and missed signing a major contract to go check on him and handle it myself. On one of my rare days off, Marcus was napping while I was doing laundry. He woke up and smiled sleepily and said, "You're so good at taking care of everything, honey." That's when it hit me. He's not grateful, he's comfortable. This isn't temporary recovery, this is our new normal. I spent 2 hours looking at apartments online after he went back to sleep. Then I heard him get up for water and slammed the laptop shut. My boss offered me a promotion requiring travel 2 days a week, 40% salary increase that would solve our debt problem in 18 months. Marcus went pale when I told him and asked, "What if something happens to me while you're gone?" I reminded him the doctor confirmed he's completely healthy. His mother called an hour later making subtle comments about me not appreciating the miracle of Marcus being alive. "You should be grateful instead of complaining about money," she said. I accepted the promotion anyway. On my first business trip, Marcus called 12 times in one day, claiming he was having symptoms but wouldn't go to the doctor without me. The final call came during my dinner meeting with potential clients. "My chest feels tight and I'm dizzy," he whispered. I excused myself and drove 3 hours home in a panic to find him playing video games in his pajamas eating ice cream. When I confronted him, he broke down sobbing, saying, "I almost died, Sarah. Why can't you understand I need support?" We had a brutal fight where the truth finally came out. Marcus admitted he was terrified of returning to normal responsibilities. I admitted I felt more like his mother than his wife. We both acknowledged we're not the same people who got married in crisis mode, but nothing changed. We're now 3 months behind on our mortgage because Marcus keeps adding therapy expenses without telling me. And when I asked him to go out more, Marcus joined a cancer survivor support group, but he presented himself as struggling with an unsympathetic wife. I attended one meeting and multiple people were cold to me based on what he told them. One woman actually said, "Some people don't understand what survivors go through." That's when I went home and checked his browser history. I found pages about caregiver burnout, manipulation tactics, and how to use medical trauma to control relationships. He's been strategically having episodes every time I assert independence. Then I finally gave him an ultimatum. "Get a job within 30 days or I'm filing for separation." He stared at me for a full minute then said, "Go ahead, I'll tell everyone you're abandoning a cancer survivor." I called his bluff and said, "Go ahead, Marcus. I'll tell them how the cancer survivor refuses to survive." His face went blank in a way that scared me. That's when he began sabotaging my work by calling during important meetings, claiming emergencies that weren't emergencies. Last week he called during my presentation, claiming he couldn't find his insurance card. I found it in his wallet later that day. Then I got offered my dream job in another city. Double my current salary, full benefits, everything I've worked toward. I was reading the offer letter when Marcus walked into the kitchen. He looked me in the eye and said, "It's your career or our marriage, Sarah. Choose. What would you have done?" The full story might change your answer.